Good morning. Been kind of struggling with, what to post or what to make a video about today. Prayed about it. Been going through my big book and thinking, um, just I don't know, having a hard time deciding what topic to bring to the table. And then it hit me, struggling. You know, we all struggle. Even once we get clean and sober, we're gonna have struggles. Uh, a good friend of mine told me a long time ago, sober stands for son of a bitch, everything's real. There's when you get clean and sober, um, your life changes exponentially. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be great. Doesn't mean it's always going to be, roses. You know, things are going to happen. Going to be roadblocks. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be bad experiences. There's going to be good experiences. There's going to be great things that happen. Um, but we all struggle from time to time. It's what we do in that moment of struggle that defines what is going to happen with the rest of our life. You know, for me, I'm struggling with something to talk about. Um, and there's a multitude of things to talk about in sobriety and recovery. Uh, but I read somebody's comment on a post actually the other day in another group. Maybe it was yesterday or day before. Um, and it was somebody who was new, struggling to get sober and asking for suggestions because they were not able to get to a meeting. Um, Not exactly sure what the circumstance was. All I know is they reached out, and I suggested, reading a big book if they had, and if they didn't, go online and read the big book. Um, I also suggested, excuse me, John M. over at Sober Speak has a podcast that's phenomenal. He's got over 200 episodes that are alcoholics telling their experience, strength, and hope, going through steps. Um, I find it to be an amazing podcast. Um, but I suggested that. I suggested this group. Um, the resources are out there, uh, even more so than they were 11 years ago when I came, and way more so than there was in the early mid 30s when Bill and Dr. Bob were starting this thing. But they are out there. If you're new and you're struggling with just staying sober, find another new alcoholic or addict. Find somebody new, work with them, talk with them. The best thing that you can do, the thing that's going to keep you sober more so than anything, is working with somebody else who's struggling with their sobriety. Um, like I said, I have struggles all the time. And this is not, struggling over what to talk about is not a major struggle. It is for me because I feel like I want to do this because it's good for my sobriety. And, we may get lucky and I may say something that resonates with somebody and help somebody, maybe one person stay sober for one day. And if that's the case, then all of this that I'm doing is worth it. At the end of the day, doing this keeps me sober. So, we struggle with, just coming around. That's a struggle for a lot of us when we start. And we struggle with the God concept. That's one that hangs everybody up. Hate these fucking cigarettes. But we struggle with God, and if you read Bill's story, um, in the big book, it's right after the doctor's opinion. I think it starts on page 9. You'll see how he struggled with the whole God concept. And in the end, he comes to the realization that all that he needs is the willingness to believe in a power greater than himself. Doesn't have to define it. You don't have to define your higher power to anybody. I mean, at any time, long as you have one, long as we know that you're praying to a power greater than yourself, that's all that's required is that willingness to believe. So he struggled with that. And a lot of people struggle with the God concept. A lot of people struggle with sponsorship, finding the right sponsor, you know, go through sponsors if you need to. I mean, people have had multiple sponsors, till they find the right one. Sometimes you get the right one right off the bat and it clicks. My first sponsor in the program, I got drunk after he led at my home group and relapsed. So, and it wasn't him, it was me, but at that time he wasn't necessarily the right sponsor. What I needed was, somebody a little more harsh, a little more like me, a little more hold your feet to the fire kind of person. So that people struggle with sponsorship. People struggle with going to meetings. They don't like people. They want to be around people. Some people don't even want to leave their house when they're getting sobriety. So now we have Zoom meetings. Um, we have there's meetings where you can just listen. There's tons of video leads out there. So really, when it comes to your sobriety, there's no excuse for you not to find something to help you out. There's so many resources out there, but people struggle with doing that. So, you know, if you're struggling, like I said, reach out to another alcoholic, go to a Zoom meeting, pick up your big book, read it on the internet, go to a podcast like Sober Speak, you know, listen to an idiot like me ramble for 15 minutes every morning. Um, if you've got a question, if you're struggling, if you need something more personal, my email is sarcasticandsober@gmail.com. Send me a message. I will respond. I do read all the emails. Um, you know, struggle. Don't let struggle be the reason that you drink today or use a drug. You know, that's struggling is human nature, and you're going to have struggles even in your sobriety. You're going to have bad things happen, good things happen. Um, I don't know if this one made any sense to anybody. It's a little shorter than normal. Like I said, I was struggling to even put something together for this morning. I pretty much shoot from the hip with these things. I don't write anything out. I don't, have notes. If I read, you can tell because I'm, it's hard and I'm reading right from the book. Um, so yeah, struggle. Don't let struggle keep you from the bigger picture. Don't let struggle keep you from the miracle that's gonna happen. Remember those promises. They will materialize if we work for them. Like I said, I don't know if this one will help anybody or if people are going to be like, Jesus, what the fuck? Have a great day. Bye.